Greetings from the CA Dr. Rajkumar Adukia. CA friends, today I have brought a topic of NGO, non-government organization. This is also called NPO, non-profit organization. This is also called third sector for development of an economy. Like we have public sector, we have private sector, and NGO is a third sector to develop economy. Anything begins twice, first in our mind and second time in reality. So, and any subject can be learned in 60 hours. And this is a very interesting area of practice because in NGO, we have one practice area formation of NGOs, whether a charitable trust or a charitable society or Section 8 company. Second is there is something called FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. When this entity receive any donation from uh, any country outside India in foreign currency, even one penny, one requires a prior approval or a registration. Third, CSR activities under Companies Act 2013, Section 135. CRX activity can be done by the company itself. They can form any of this entity and immediately they can do CSR activity. Or if they wish to give to an outside NGO, then the NGO should have been registered for 3 years and should have a prior experience, like in the 7th schedule of Companies Act 2013, we have list of activities on which CSR fund can be spent. So these three entities, in some state like Maharashtra, we have a Non-Trading Corporation Act also, Maharashtra Non-Trading Corporation Act. So non-trading corporations are like companies. So in charitable trust is a common law. So in trust, we have a settler who is also called author. We have trustees who accept obligations or responsibility to manage fund on behalf of beneficiaries. We have trust property, we have trust deed, and we have beneficiaries. So we have a legislation called the Indian Trust Act 1882. That act, that legislation applies to private family trust because that is mentioned in the preamble of that legislation. But being a trust, a common law subject, in some state, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, we have a separate legislation for public charitable trust. Those states, like we have 28 states, which do not have a separate legislation, then the registration of the trust is done with the collector by paying 100 rupees stamp duty and filing fees. Then we have another entity called Charitable Society. We have the Societies Registration Act 1860, and many of the states have made an amendment in that legislation. Some states have a separate legislation for societies. Third entity is a company. We have Section 8 in Companies Act 2013. Earlier, it was Section 25 in the Companies Act 1956. So one advice will be when somebody want to form a new NGO, which kind of NGO one should go. So it depends on what is the object. If there is an object to control the entity, it is advisable to go for a public trust. If we want to do a worldwide or nationwide activities, it is advisable to go for a Section 8 company. And third is the charitable society. So, charitable society is for the artistic work, scientific work, literary work, and there will be many members. There will be annual general meeting, the election of managing committee. Then under income tax act, we have separate provisions for taxation of NGO, charitable trust. So we can practice in that. GST also applies to the charitable trust NGO activities. And then there is a FCRA, those charitable trusts who want to receive uh, foreign donations, they have to get registered under FCRA Act. Now, this area of practice is a very, very interesting area. We can practice on project management. There is something called social audit. Social audit is more of a qualitative audit rather than a financial audit, which is a quantitative audit. So, in social audit, suppose if the money is given for medical help, so whether beneficiary required that money, whether beneficiary has improved a health, if the money is given for education, whether beneficiary has received appropriate education. So social audit is another area which can be done in the NGO sector. And we can also practice in, you know, receipt of foreign donations. Uh, there are some ministries like Ministry of Child and Welfare, uh, Child and Women Welfare, the Ministry of Sports. They give a grant for this. Then there is, a website called NGO Darpan. So in the NGO Darpan, the Niti Aayog has, I'll just show that website. So Niti Aayog has created this website, NGO Darpan, and there are about 250,000 NGOs who are enrolled. There are 53 participating departments and 35 online departments. So those who need, there is an NGO directories, the state wise. So if those who want to develop practice, they can go to the NGO directories and write to those NGOs that keep our name on the panel of consultants. It do not violate clause 5, 6, 7 of the first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. And use of social media is one uh, very scientific method to become known. So I would strongly recommend those who want to do practice in this, make one thought, a flyer on Canva, a graphic design platform, put on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, Twitter, make a YouTube video on that topic. There is a FCRA, Ministry of Home Affairs, manage this legislation. And we have Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010 and Foreign Contribution Regulation 2011. This registration under this legislation is also a very interesting area of practice. I request the viewers, those who are interested, I would love to mastermind them in growth of the practice in this area. There's a out of 13 steps of to achieving anything which Napoleon Hill has written in the book Think and Grow Rich. Ninth step is a mastermind, and wish you a great learning and earning. Thank you. Please subscribe my channel.